Strike hard and true, Jon Snow, or I'll come back and haunt you.
Let's start off this video with something big. Let's add one more thing that I keep forgetting to put in my Daenerys second life hypothesis. You know how I firmly believe that Dany's now living a second life inside Drogon, just like Orell did inside the Eagle and Varamir Sixskins did inside the Wolf One Eye. Well, check this out. It all but confirms the hypothesis. So, Jon Snow killed Orell south of the Wall in the show, right? But in the canon, Orell is one of the people up on the mountain with Ygritte. Jon killed Orell right before he captured her. And the Ygritte scene, that's a prelude to the final Dany scene. So we know for a fact that in the first of these two connected scenes, Jon kills someone and they begin to live a second life. Orell was the first person that Jon had ever killed, and Dany was the last person that he killed, at least in terms of the known story. So who's with me? Dany is definitely living a second life inside Drogon. And by definitely, I mean, that's how it is for me. Whatever melts your ice cream. But that's not the point of this video. The main point of this video is to speculate as to what Dany was thinking in the final moments before she began that second life inside Drogon, or in those moments where she is Drogon and she's looking at Jon holding her body. In Game of Thrones Season 7, Daenerys Targaryen rode a second dragon, namely Aegon Targaryen, Egg, Jon Snow. And in Game of Thrones Season 8, Jon rode a dragon, Rhaegal. Their flight was important for a few reasons. We're going to touch on just one of them today. We'll get back to this scene, but first, let's look at Dany's final scene. There were several callbacks here to both the Ygritte scene and the Kingslayer scene. Some are parallels and some are contrasts. Here are a few examples. Jon climbed the mountain to get to Ygritte, and he climbed the Red Keep to get to Daenerys. Jon planned on killing Ygritte, and he didn't. He showed her mercy.
You never killed a woman before, did you?
And on the flip side, Jon planned on saving Dany from herself, and since her vision of the world was one without mercy, Jon Snow chose to swing the figurative sword. Jaime killed his king, and Lord Eddard judged him for that, and ironically, Jon Snow did the same thing as the young lion. Jon killed his queen.
You are my queen.
Nothing lasts.
No. And always.
It's worth noting that this was not the first time that Jon killed someone whom he cared for. Again, we go back to that Qhorin Halfhand adventure. Jon killed his brother, the legend Qhorin Halfhand. So yeah, there are a lot of cool connections among these scenes, but let's get back on track. What were Dany's final thoughts, either here or here? Dany died in Jon's arms, just as Ygritte did, and here's why it's so cool. My favorite author, Brandon Sanderson, once said, "A story doesn't come to life until someone reads it, or in this case, someone watches it." And for me, Dany is now living a second life inside Drogon, right? So think of Drogon here as Dany. She's looking at Jon and she regrets her mistake.
I've enjoyed your company, Jon Snow.
She regrets having become a merciless tyrant. And she's thinking,
You should have stayed in that cave.
and that explains her next move. That's why she burnt down the damn throne. And even if you don't buy the second life thing, I believe those are her thoughts right here in the moments as she's dying. Let me know in the comment section what you think her final thoughts were. Next up, Qhorin Halfhand, and then, finally, long overdue, my 2 pink letter videos. Alright, I'll catch you on the flip side.